Concrete is the most important of all our construction materials. It's the most widely used material on Earth after water. And if concrete has one flaw, it's that it has low tensile strength, and therefore we need to add steel to make reinforced concrete. And in turn, the concrete needs to protect the steel from corrosion. However, should the concrete crack, then that provides a pathway for harmful substances such as chlorides, carbon dioxide, and ultimately oxygen and water to get to the reinforcing steel, cause corrosion, cause rust, and that ultimately leads to destruction of the concrete.
The cracking of concrete is a problem because of the need for repair, which can be terribly expensive. Imagine motorway bridges, for example. So here at the University of Bath, we're working in collaboration with the Universities of Cambridge and Cardiff, all funded by EPSRC, looking at self-healing concrete. We are trying to seal cracks as they form using bacteria which are able to produce limestone. Remarkable. And if we can incorporate those into the cracks or around the cracks that will form, the limestone will then plug those gaps.
Concrete is a very hostile environment, and the bacteria which fit the bill can survive in this hostile environment of high alkaline pH and produce limestone at the same time. These are the 3 bacterial cultures which we are working right now in the lab, and they perfectly grow in alkaline conditions. That is what makes them suitable for their use in concrete. And here you can see that they have grown in liquid culture medium, which is alkaline. It looks cloudy, which indicates that the bacteria is growing in this medium. These bacteria are now in a medium which has calcium, and in presence of calcium and carbon dioxide, they produce limestone, which is calcium carbonate. The cracks in concrete are then impregnated with bacteria and bacterial food which has calcium, and these bacteria have used this calcium and carbon dioxide to precipitate calcite, and you can see that the crack is being healed by the bacteria.
So if we could have a self-healing concrete, that would alleviate the need for repair, that would obviously save considerable amounts of money, and it will also have an environmental saving. If you remember how much concrete we make, the amount of cement that we need to make that concrete contributes somewhere between 5 and 7% of carbon dioxide emissions. So any concrete that we don't need to make reduces the amount of CO2 emissions produced by this industry.
Bacteria wouldn't survive the harsh conditions and the manufacture of concrete. So we've chosen bacteria that produce spores. These are long-lived, really tough, last 100 years in some species. So we know how to turn them on in culture. We can produce them in bulk, and they've got to go into concrete. The problem is they probably need protection in some form of capsule, and we're producing various things to protect them from the crushing of the concrete that will keep the bacteria and the food separate, that will crack or dissolve when the crack forms to release those, to produce the limestone.
So we're hoping to carry out trials of this self-healing concrete in November. In the long term, we anticipate this self-healing concrete being a specialist material which can be used in many important structures, particularly underground structures, underwater structures, where simply repair isn't an option. And we hope self-healing concrete will be a very important material for the construction industry in the years to come.